Welcome to qnawire.
So now we're going to work on problem 87 from chapter 5. In this problem, we're asked to draw the Lewis structure for HCSNH2, and then we're given some instructions about the order of what is bound to what, and then we're also want to label each bond as polar or nonpolar. So this molecule here will have a total of 18 electrons. And so from the question, we're told that carbon and nitrogen are bound together and the sulfur is bound to the carbon. So based on the way the formula is written, we have an H bound to a carbon bound to a nitrogen. The sulfur will be bound to the carbon, and then we have two hydrogens bound to the nitrogen. So this is 5 bonds here. So we've assigned 10 electrons already. We have 8 left to assign. Nitrogen, we know, will probably have a lone pair. And so we need to complete the octet for nitrogen in that way. So now we have 6 electrons left to assign. We give 2 lone pairs to sulfur. We have 2 electrons left to assign. Both our carbon and sulfur are 2 electrons deficient, so we assign the last 2 electrons as a double bond to the carbon and sulfur, between the carbon and sulfur. So if we go through and check formal charges, we see that everything is 0. So this is the correct structure for our molecule. And so now what we need to do is we need to assign each bond as polar or nonpolar. So let's first assign the nonpolar bonds. We know that carbon-hydrogen bonds are nonpolar. That's for sure we know. If we check the table in chapter 5, which shows the electronegativities, we can see that carbon and sulfur are very similar. So that bond will also be nonpolar. So we can also assign polar bonds. So carbon and nitrogen bond is polar. And also the nitrogen and hydrogen bond is polar as well. So those are the classifications for the bonds in this molecule.